Take is presented by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And in part by Ortho Home Defense Max Insect Killer for indoor and perimeter. Defend what's yours. And Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
We worked hard, and we know what this feeling feels like. You know, we remember this feeling. And that'll push everybody in the summer. Just try to keep everybody going and keep everybody's heads up.
The two were saying.
Such right.
All right, there's always a loser. There's always the other side of the coin. John Salley joins us now. 4 times he was victorious in the NBA Finals. 1 time he had to experience the agony of defeat. John, thanks for joining us at the debate desk. Let's get into the Thunder now and what went wrong from them. While last night was mostly about the Heat being completely dominant, it was clear that the Oklahoma City Thunder just were not up to the moment. Kevin Durant finished with 32 and 11 rebounds, but it was completely lost in the Heat blowout. So let's debate what went wrong last night for the Oklahoma City Thunder. John, in your eyes, what was it?
They went in already defeated. They came in that game defeated. They came in with that look that they wanted to play, but they didn't want to go. They wanted to give it up. I think at halftime they wanted to go home. You know, can we just end this?
So you think their will was broken after Game 4?
Their will, yeah, they were done after Game 4. This game right here was just, as we said, to coronate the king, but they were done after Game 4. And they came in the game when Chris Bosh is going around people like that, and you're missing dunks. And like you know, Kevin Garnett is definitely the man. He showed up. He got his 35, so we don't have to talk about Kevin
We've all done it at one point or another. Don't worry.
He showed up, but the rest of them didn't show up.
Yeah.
They just didn't show up. But I got something for you. So Padron gave out the championship cigar.
Oh, those are championship cigars.
Just thought I'd pass them down.
All right.
Come on. You got to
good.
at least have a championship cigar. That's from LeBron. It has 23 on it.
Then he definitely won't smoke it.
Yes.
Not that he would have before.
Yeah.
So it was a team, no single player. It was just a team effort. They weren't ready for the moment, and they didn't show up. Skip, Stephen A., what do you guys have to say about what went wrong for the Thunder?
Metaphorically, I mean, you watch them enter the arena. You know that Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and those boys were there a bit early. And, you know, it's their hometown, and they're in the training room, and, you know, they're getting ready for battle. You saw these guys come into the arena. They had the backpacks on and, you know, that kind of stuff. And it just looked like, you know, it literally looked like young kids. It reminded you that they were 23 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and I have no doubt that Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant will win a world championship. I mean, they're just too good. They're just too gifted. And I'm not going to sit there and
for OKC?
I'm saying I think OKC will win. I think they will win a championship for OKC in the very near future. I got a lot of faith in those young boys. And I don't believe that they have anything to be ashamed of. They played 4 highly competitive games. Last night, it wasn't the Miami Heat who overwhelmed them. It was the moment. It was Game 7 disguised as Game 5. It was everybody showing up. It was, you know, them people knowing that the championship trophy was in the building, that the champagne was ready, that the plastic was going to be covering the lockers. I mean, the buzz here in Miami yesterday, you could not hide from it. You could be in your hotel room in the pitch dark with headphones on, listening to nothing but music, and you still could not hide from the totality and the enormity of the moment that existed yesterday, because it wasn't just about the championship. It was about LeBron. And I told you before, Skip, Game 4 was it. Game 4 was the moment. I picked OKC to win this series. I was wrong about that, but then when we were talking about Game 5, I knew they couldn't win Game 5 because Game 4 was it. No matter how great they are, you can't take 23, and 22-year-olds and put them in that moment up against a man in LeBron James who was starving and who had suffered enough. You can overcome a lot of things. Your skills can overcome a lot of things. It can't overcome that. And that's what happened last night.
But I must point out, before I get to the Thunder, they did get overwhelmed by Mike Miller, and Mike Miller hits another one, and another
phenomenal.
3, and Battier hits another one, and Chalmers hits another 3, and I think they came to play. I don't think they quit after 4 games.
No, they didn't.
I don't think their will was broken, but it got broken in the third quarter. And I'm going to remind you, they came out the third quarter just like they always did through the playoffs when they're behind. Boom, 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 and all of a sudden, they get the basketball in their hands, in Kevin Durant's hands, down 5, early third quarter. He's dribbling the ball up the floor, and what happens? He dribbles it and dribbles. He's 6'10". You know, you can't do this, Kevin. He dribbles it and dribbles. Somebody comes from behind. Boom, the ball's up in the air, and it's going, and it goes the other way. Boom, 3, and 3, and 3, and 3. And you look up, and Miami has run them out of the building in about 5 minutes. And they're down, what were they, 25 down at the end of the
But my
quarter?
only retort to that, Skip, is that you've been around long enough to know that there are moments, like, for example, remember when Michael Jordan, your man Michael Jordan, they beat the Portland Trail Blazers, all right, and you know, for their second NBA championship, and you had everybody. I mean, I don't remember such Stacey King and Bill Winnington and I mean, who were these people? And I mean, you know, you saw people coming out of everywhere, and they were just raining shots all over the place. You're like, what is going on here in that game 6? Not the game 2 when Michael Jordan hit 7 3-pointers in the first half. I'm talking about game 6 when they closed them out. They were down 20 points, and the Bulls brought them back. Sometimes when you have such greatness representing you and your team, especially in big moments like that, you feed off of it. You know, you're playing, and you weren't some scrub player. You were getting minutes, and you were balling. But it helped that you knew Isaiah and Dumas and the microwave Vinnie Johnson was coming. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, when you have that, you have that momentum. You feed off of it. I can't tell you. I mean, certainly I was never good enough to play in the NBA, but when you're balling, I mean, your hair is standing up on your skin. You're just hyped. You just hyped, and that's what happened. Mike Miller. This man will retire. There is no doubt, because he can't stand up straight. He cannot stand up straight.
And what better way to go out for him?
And I'm just saying, he can't. And then to see him do what he did, I mean, what is that? What is that? That's adrenaline, man. That's the moment, seizing it, because you know what you're surrounded.
That's all your life practicing came out in that one game last night.
It's what you dream about.
One last thought on Russell Westbrook. I picked the Thunder to win Game 5 and get it back to Oklahoma City in Game 6. And after I did it, I kept thinking, I just picked Russell Westbrook. I'm going to trust him now when I haven't trusted him all year. And right on schedule, after that aberration game, because he's more cold than he's hot, after he took 36 shots in Game 4, scored 43. Last night he goes 4 for 20. And in that stretch during the third quarter, when they fell apart, he goes 2 for 9. Won't work, Stephen A. You need somebody to settle it down and get you better shots instead of him just wilding
but rather than break down things technically, let's say it this simple. He was so explosive in Game 4 that he probably thought it was the only chance in Game 5. That's youth. That's youth, man. I mean, I got to give it up to them, man. I got a lot of respect for Oklahoma City, including James Harden, who, by the way, played horrible in Game 4, but he'll be back because he's too talented not to be. They're just young.
All right, let's go micro to macro now, and you start to touch on on Russell Westbrook, and we may go there a lot on this next topic because we want to look at the series in total. Who is most to blame for the Thunder losing in 5?
LeBron again. LeBron is in charge. I think he literally was coaching. To me, LeBron had control of their team as well, because they had to, when he would go to the basket and you think you had it blocked and then he would finish, he would grab a rebound, take it back up. He was playing defense, making people get steals. All of a sudden, it didn't look like his legs were hurting at all from what it was in Game 4. I think he just literally shut him down. And I was listening to you guys go back and forth in that very eloquent debate you guys were having with those big words on how you love one another. But
is that what those were?
That's what they were.
Okay.
But the thing about when him getting it done, I just realized yesterday when I watched Dwayne Wade and I watched Bosh sit there and I saw Miller come and hit those shots. This is not tennis. This is not golf. You have to have those other guys around you to complement what you're doing, and they have to put it in the basket when you put the ball in the hand. And he finally put those guys together, and they all was in that same understanding. Because I realized LeBron didn't realize the game was over until he took his headband off and started dancing.
Yep, you're right.
That's when he realized it. He didn't
even
realize
stopped Chalmers from celebrating
Yeah.
at one
He did.
point prematurely.
He did. It was good.
He wanted to put it
Leadership.
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that showed maturity that we haven't seen from LeBron in the past.
Yes, definitely. I tell the guys who was, we talk about youth. You guys last night showed it on television, the youth of this team. I don't know if this team, if they don't keep this team together, if they break this team up, I don't think those two.
They're not going to. The only potential breakup will be what they have to make a decision as to whether or not they may have to make a decision. It's a slim possibility they can keep both, but they may have to make a decision as to whether they pick Ibaka or Harden. That's about it. Everything else is in place. Russell Westbrook is locked in. Kevin Durant is locked in for years to come. Kendrick Perkins is locked in for years to come, along with some of the players on their bench.
Yeah, well, you can't teach tall.
I'm going with Ibaka. No
I'm going
question.
with Ibaka as
But
well.
that's no knock against Harden. It's just that Ibaka plays defense and he's a bigger body.
Is he going to
to
shave his beard now? Does the beard come off? Is that part of it? I want to see if there's mini-me under
That might
the
be
beard.
a good choice.
Yeah.
Instead, might be time to
Yeah,
lose
he
it.
looked really
I
good.
agree with your premise that LeBron shredded what was a very good Oklahoma City defense. They were really good in those previous 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But big picture, I was extremely disappointed in the Thunder. They're better than they played for 4 straight games. And I know the turning point was the end of game 2, and we've been through this before, but LeBron let Kevin get a step on him on the baseline. I thought he fouled him twice. They didn't call it. LeBron went to the free throw line then and iced the game. The whole series turned on that play, right? When you look back
Yeah,
at it.
you're right.
It was
And
big.
after that, the Thunder never quite looked like the Thunder again. And you know I'm the biggest Kevin Durant fan. But in the end, there's still a troubled dynamic between Westbrook and Durant. And last night, Durant had 7 turnovers. You can't play like that in a game like that. You're going to lose. And there's something. They still are missing a floor leader. It's just some general on the floor. I don't know how they do it.
Well,
I don't know if
well,
Eric
you have
Maynor,
to-
I'm a big Eric Maynor fan.
And
As he
so
comes
am
back
I,
from...
and so am I. And sometimes they've played together. So you have to remember that. It's not as big of a concern as you think because you have Eric Maynor. That's the difference. And I think they'll be fine. I'm not giving up on Russell Westbrook. I tell you that much.
Hey,
his talent is off the charts.
it's off the charts.
I
I
mean,
agree
and
with
he's for years to come. I'm not giving up on him.
Could Dwight
Howard?
end up? Yeah.
You know what?
Because you can tell.
He's not interested in going to Oklahoma City, but they should be interested in having him.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think he's
I'm saying-
interested now in going.
Well, you know what? I know that he'd rather be in Brooklyn. That's his preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants
In
to
the
start
end-
anew. He doesn't want to be someplace with expectations, and he doesn't want to be someplace where it's somebody else's team other than his own.
Well, I think he wants to win a championship. If he wants to win a championship or have a chance to,
I'm telling
you got to get out the East.
I'm telling you what
Yeah.
the deal is.
Yeah.
I
Bottom
didn't say it
line-
was right. I'm
Right.
telling you what the deal
Bottom
is.
line, the Thunder ran into a team that just wanted it way worse than they wanted it at
Yes.
this stage and age.
Yes.
I think that was obvious. Yeah,
That's
they
it, yeah.
definitely played with much more desire. John, thanks. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
in just a little bit. We're taking a break. When we come back, this is going to be a lot of fun. His team won last year's NBA.